Imagine setting sail for one of the most unforgiving places in the world. Here, the sea can surround you like a prison. In May 1845, two of Britain's most advanced cruise ships embarked on an expedition that would be one of the greatest voyages in maritime history. HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. Their objective was an unknown location beyond the icy waters of the Arctic. Their mission was to discover the Northwest Passage, which was thought to potentially permanently change world trade. This arduous expedition was led by Royal Navy officer Sir John Franklin. A total of 129 officers and sailors were on board. The ships were equipped with steam engines to navigate the harsh sea conditions. They carried thousands of canned goods, scientific medicines and products, along with enough provisions to survive in Arctic conditions, had been provided. Their confidence was high. Many times they began preparing for any challenge their journey might present. But the Arctic had defeated many ambitious explorers long before Franklin's arrival, and they were preparing to face it again. Curtain. Disappearance in the frozen north. As the expedition sailed north, massive icebergs surrounded the ships. Temperatures dropped rapidly, and finding open water became increasingly difficult. The last encounters between the European whalers and HMS Erebus and HMS Terror resulted in reports that everything was proceeding as usual. The crew was healthy, and the ships were in good condition. Nothing indicated impending disaster. Then, the expedition had disappeared. Months passed, then years. No news arrived, no distress call was received. No distress calls were received. Only silence reigned in the ice-covered Arctic. Concern quickly escalated into an emergency. Search operations were launched in the polar seas. Finally, researchers discovered alarming findings. Small graves emerged from the frozen ground. Empty camps stood abandoned. Among the piles of stones, rescue teams found a handwritten message. This message described how both ships had been trapped in sea ice for months. The surviving crew had finally been forced to abandon the ships, and they attempted the almost impossible. They set out on foot through one of the world's most challenging environments. There is no news of anyone returning. Curtain. The ice remembers. The disappearance of the Franklin expedition had a profound impact on the British Empire. Over the decades that followed, countless rescue missions were launched into the Arctic, their aim being to find clues to the lost expedition. In this search, many contacted Inuit communities, who preserved oral stories of the extraordinary journey southward undertaken by the starving sailors on the ice. Each discovery illuminated a new chapter of the story. Yet the complete picture was still not finished. Finally, modern science brought the investigation back to the forefront. Researchers examined human remains recovered from the region. The evidence reveals that the main factors that led to the expedition's tragic end were starvation, disease, extreme cold, and intense physical exhaustion. Some research also points to lead contamination from canned food or the ship's water systems as a factor that weakened the crew's strength. Other studies indicate that scurvy and successive Arctic winters progressively reduced their chances of survival. Today, most historians agree that the expedition did not fail due to a single disaster. Instead, they point to a series of devastating events that gradually rendered even one of the best-equipped expeditions of the time ineffective. Then, more than a century and a half later, the Arctic finally revealed one of its mysteries. In 2014, researchers managed to locate the wreck of HMS Erebus lying in the depths of the ice-covered waters. 2 years later, HMS Terror emerged, remarkably well preserved. Now the ships had been found. However, much of the expedition's final moments remain a mystery. Today, both wrecks lie silently in the depths of the Arctic Ocean, as if frozen in time. 129 men set out on the expedition with the aim of rewriting the history of exploration. But in the end, they became a part of the Arctic. Even though science has revealed many aspects of their story in unprecedented detail, the ice continues to hold its final mysteries, and it waits for the day the final chapter